this was unplanned, but I decided to take you all on a walk in the park with me. Let me go ahead and share with all my people to see if they can join me. Where are my people? There we go. There we go. Sent and sent. So this particular park is, what's it called? I always forget. Bill Moore Community Park, also known as Fletcher Community Park. And I've been coming here many years, probably as long as I've been living in this area, which is over 10 years at this point. And fun place if you just want to walk, just walk, enjoy. The lovely part about it is it is a sort of a small wildlife preserve. So there are hatcheries here, there's some wildlife living, there's a ton of squirrels because they know people are going to feed them and they're adorable. So, and of course, let me see if I can, where is my camera flip camera? There we go. There is the beautiful Cane Creek. Those of you who follow me, I include this creek in my nature walk videos on a regular basis. So now you can see it in person. I will not be going in, not today. Even though today is actually much warmer than it was Friday when I did go into the water at Lake Powhatan. But not today, I'm just out walking. This is probably the easiest walk I do. There's no climbing, no significant elevation changes, nothing like that. So this is, so when I go, I kind of have this distinction. When I get out, I'm either going hiking or I'm going walking. This one is definitely, trying to pull on a glove. This one's definitely walking. So I'm going to try to show you some of the pretty spots along the way. Let me see if there we go. That's another beautiful spot right here. I love the way this water runs over the rocks. Just so pretty, and they're lit up. I've been to this park in all kinds of weather. Been here in the extreme heat, like 90 degrees and up, 100 degrees, thereabouts. It's actually not bad in the summer because of the proximity of water. So, been there then, walked here in the rain, in the snow. Unlike in the Arboretum, Pisgah Forest area, there's not much snow left around here. There's just like these small, tiny patches of snow. So not fabulous. It's not as pretty. Most of it had melted, and judging by the fact that we're gonna have rain starting Tuesday or Wednesday, we're gonna have all of this probably very wet and drab and gray. Oh, that's winter in North Carolina for you. Well, not in all of North Carolina. So up here in the mountain, we sort of have our own climate. It's interesting. Climate interests me, not just because of the climate change, but also because when I was in college, when I was an engineering student, I studied the branch of applied physics called heat transfer and fluid dynamics. So it is a portion of thermodynamics that deals with the way heat moves, if you can call it that, and the way it affects substances as it moves. And the fluid dynamics, of course, is the science of the branch of physics that talks about how things flow. And when most people think about fluids, they think about water or something liquid. Oop. No, I don't want to finish. I don't want to end. I want to flip my camera. There you go. My camera doesn't want to work. There we go. So, but, of course, there's more to fluids than just the obvious ones. Air is a fluid, water is a fluid, various liquids, gases, molten things are a fluid. So, all that jazz. So, the climate and the mountains interest me as a scholar of heat transfer and fluid dynamics. And so, things that I notice, how the air masses act around our region, is truly fascinating. And you can look at the maps. It's not quite as dramatic as in really tall mountains, but it's still interesting. Also, I always chuckle when people say, well, these are short little mountains, these are old mountains. It's true, it's some of the oldest mountains in the world. But try climbing these buggers. Oh, we have squirrels. Let me see if I can show you guys. Can you see them? There's two little troublemakers right up the tree. You see if I can. Yeah, there they are. See them? There he is. There's the little guy. Yeah, tons and tons and tons of that kind of basic wildlife here in this district. So European friends, you might have noticed, again from my nature walk videos, the squirrels in our part of the world are gray. Usually gray with a white belly. It's a very pretty, sort of a downy gray color, and their ears are small. So I grew up in Eastern Europe, of course, so I am familiar with the European squirrels, the ones with the reddish fur and bigger ears and the cute little tufts on the ears. So, seen those. But no, these are quite different, and these are, I think these are bigger. I think the gray squirrels are bigger. So, slightly different type of squirrel. But something else we have here that a lot of areas in America do not have is this type of thing, these bigger trees, older growth. Look at that beautiful giant. So, lots of lovely old trees in the area. This is one of the reasons, by the way, why we are popular, this region is popular with the movie makers. As many of you know, probably, movies like The Last of the Mohicans were filmed here. Dirty Dancing. And look at this lovely fungus. I love fungus. Winter. Because, why? Because in the summer it gets lost behind leaves and flowers and all the lovely things that are available to us in the summer, but in the winter it sort of comes into its own. Hello, hi doggies. Hi, hi sweeties. Look at my friend here. Yes. Hello, they're so well behaved. Thank you for letting me say hi. This is very common. People bring their dogs and children to this park. Always fun. Oh, you guys are beautiful dogs. Beautiful couple with beautiful couple of dogs. A lovely young couple with a pair of very lovely huskies with those gorgeous blue eyes. I love huskies, even though they are drama queens. Yes, but yeah, lots of people come here. You know, they, just again to walk, have fun, and unfortunately, so this one, if you can see this vine with red berries. This is what I call a beautiful parasite. See this? It is very beautiful, but I always forget. I actually saw a description of it somewhere at the Arboretum. There is a plaque along one of my favorite trails that talks about parasite plants. So this vine with red berries is one of such plants. Oh, here's another amazing, huge tree. Look at him. Ah, he's gorgeous. He's beautiful in the summer too, in the fall, in the summer, but I love trees. I love big trees. So so this vine, unfortunately, despite the fact that it's so pretty, it has those pretty red berries, unfortunately is a parasite and not good for the tree. So many people, so many cute dogs of all sizes and shapes. So yeah, so unfortunately we have a lot of those, and of course we have a lot of kudzu in this park. So along this main drag here, this is all kind of a more populated area of the park. They keep the kudzu down. When you go further into the woods, you see it sort of takes over. And this is one of the approaches to the Cane Creek. This body of water here is called the Cane Creek. And I come here often. That water is flipping cold, but it is a beautiful approach. And I'll show you the entire sweep, hang on a second, from the bridge further off into the park. This is just so beautiful. River of Gold. Of course, I'm a water baby. I love all types of water, all bodies of water, from a puddle to the ocean. I'm in the process of planning a trip back to the ocean. I miss it. It's my therapy, my refuge. But having access to water pretty much year round is an awesome thing, you know? More doggies. So, a friend of mine, I have a very old friend. We've been friends since college in Ukraine. So, before I came to the United States, I had 2 years of college in Ukraine. So that friend and I, we have known each other for 2 years. I'm sorry, for since we were both 17. So almost 30 years. Oh my God. Have to celebrate that friendship anniversary. Unfortunately, he lives in Poland and I live in the United States. So that's going to be complicated. But anyway, he always said, if you're ever troubled, concerned, hurt, uneasy, whatever, go find some water and sit next to it and just hang out. Very good advice. I have never found better therapy than the sight and sound of water. And we have a lot of it. So here in this area, we actually have a little bit of snow. We had dusting yesterday. So those of you who caught my nature walk video from Friday, when I waded into the lake because I'm insane, you may have seen it was starting to snow. And it actually snowed in earnest for some hours. So we had a dusting and we still have a little bit of it left. So now we are leaving the main sort of area, more civilized area of the park. We're going into like this little wilderness. Again, along King Creek, you can hear some of the doggies complaining. Let me show you the beautiful path. So here you go. So there is another path that goes through that field over there. I don't like going there anymore. I don't know. Purely a mood thing. Purely a mood thing. I used to like that path. I just sort of fell out of love with it. It happens. But this path here, so this is interesting. This is definitely home to bird habitats. And here in this area, we have a lot of signs hanging, letting people know, hey, you're next to a hatchery, don't be a dick. Well, they don't say that, but it's an implication. Don't be loud, don't litter. I love the sweater. Dog in an adorable sweater. Some of these dogs are better dressed than I am. I'm so jealous. But, be respectful, be quiet, don't break branches, don't go, barreling into the woods outside of the paths. The paths are here for a reason, that type of thing. It's sad that we have to explain that to people when they're in a park, but that's what we have to do. So, that's how it goes. And this part of the path is truly, I think it's magical. Let me flip you guys over. This is just with these trees on each side. I just love this and the way the shadows are in the path. I photographed this in all times of year, all the weathers, and I just can never get enough of it. I love this. It's one of those, what I would like to call the Alice in Wonderland paths to me. It should lead somewhere to the hare and the hatter. And I expect Cheshire Cat to run in front of me to help me get there. Just love this path. How's everybody doing out there? How are you doing? How are things going? I hope everybody's doing okay. I make a point usually to go walking or hiking at least twice during my weekend. First of all, because of my skeletal condition, it is very essential for me to keep up my, excuse me guys, fixing my position to keep up my step count. There are days when I don't want to go, I don't want to move, I don't want to exercise, I don't want to do my yoga. It happens. Just don't wanna, don't feel like it. But I know that if I don't, it'll be worse tomorrow. You know, even worse the day after. So I work my way up to it. I do something else. I do other tasks. If anybody here is familiar with the book Eat That Frog, I try to eat the biggest frog. Hi, Lily. You know, I try to eat the biggest frog. First today, my biggest frog was taxes. I did my taxes. They're not done because now my husband has to sit down and do his side of it. That has to do with our business. But I've done my part. So that was my ramping up to get myself to get up and exercise. So there you go. Let me show you some more of the magic path. I'm taking on. These gloves are supposed to be touch sensitive, but they don't work very well. So instead of kicking me out of the live, I'm just going to take off the damn glove. So there's more of this lovely path. This one goes for a long time. This entire loop that I take is roughly, I want to say 3.5, 4 miles. So yeah, it's a nice little walk. And again, this is my slacker walk. This is when I really feel kind of meh and I don't wanna. This one is easy, you know, and I get to see pretty woods and I get to see pretty things and pretty squirrels and all that jazz, you know. Lily, thank you so much for the likes and for the roses. I appreciate you. Hey Sasha, how are you doing? How's it hanging, kid? We're taking a walk in the park, formerly known as Fletcher Community Park, also known as Belmore Community Park. So this part we're approaching right now, this part got hit hard by the rains we had in the summer. I tried to do a live. Yes, Sasha, this is one of my biggest problems. I want to take you guys on the trail where I go to in the Arboretum, the trail that goes to Lake Powhatan, that area. I would love to take you. Oh my God, the Hard Times Trail. Oh, that is a gnarly one. I wish I could take you, but yeah, same problem. There's no reception. It sucks. It's like there's like patches there where you get 4G maybe, which is, I learned, is not enough to do live video. So, okay, so here is this area. Let me flip the camera to show you guys. This area got hit so hard in the summer. We did this massive rains, and we do have some monumental thunderstorms in the mountains. And this entire portion of the shore fell down into the creek. So they had to restore it. As you can see, part of the problem is that this area right here was a huge bottleneck for driftwood. So there was a huge clog here, which eventually overflowed. Again, hello, fluid dynamics. Don't mess with water. And it overflowed, and like I said, it undercut this entire shore where you can see rocks right now, which is why the rocks are here. And basically this entire chunk of the shore fell in. So they had to basically cordon off this entire area until they restored this part of the shore. So actually, yeah, you make a good point. My only concern is, you know, when I go hiking, is safety. So usually you can make a call from there. I'm gonna take you a little bit closer, and I'm not sure, but I think they might be building an approach. People like having an approach to the creek in the summer, obviously, because it's hot, and they like to go swimming. So yeah, it might be a nice little beach here in the summer. See you later. Thank you for stopping by, Lily. I appreciate it. Thank you for the roses and the likes. So, we'll see. So this might be another beach. All of the approaches are very popular in the summer because this creek never, like so many mountain bodies of water, it never, ever, ever gets warm. So the water is always ice cold. There are people who come up with the chairs and with their beverage coolers, and they put the beverage cooler right into the creek, and they just sit there, you know, free cooling. It is a lovely place to walk. Again, I've been walking here since forever. Since we moved here, since I found this park. I love it. It's so beautiful. And again, because I love people and animals, this is especially animals. The way people have been lately, not so much. But animals especially. And yeah, I'm just looking around. Definitely no snow in this park. None. No snow left. So we are coming to the end of the alley. I'm trying to remember. We're approaching a fork. Yeah, I consider myself lucky because during the shutdown, the first one, remember that one, 100 years ago, which feels like 100 years ago, I was in a shutdown with my 3 dogs and my 3 cats and my husband, so it's like, so, and I'm an introvert. So, and we have these kind of viney, kind of broken trees area, and mostly, unless they go into the path, go overlay the path, they just let them be, let the nature take its course. Yeah, I go out again to walk because I love walking, it's my favorite sport, so to speak, if you can call it that, and because I need to for health reasons. So I made a point to go where it was safe, when it was safe. So when I go out, it's usually to a park or a national forest, that type of thing, to go walking. That's my thing. Whew. Yeah, so this little trailhead here, this is the end of the trail that goes through the fields. And like I said, I go through there occasionally. I'm just not hugely fond of it. And it's not even, it's not because it's muddy. It does get pretty muddy. I don't know. There's like another park in the area that I used to really like, and then I just stopped liking it. No idea why. Sure, go for it, no worries. Again, this was a completely unplanned live. So I didn't really expect anyone to show up. You have fun, enjoy your walk, be safe, be healthy, be well. See you some other time. Thank you for stopping by, I appreciate you. So this is this is the only snow we have left in this park. This is all that's left. So this is a very shaded area right here on the rock. So yeah, it left us a few patches, but all on and on, all in all, there isn't much left. And I'm trying to think which path to take here. So over the last few years, they've built this up. Unfortunately, also right next to the park, they've built a factory. It's not terribly noisy, but they cut down a whole bunch of trees, and I don't understand why that was necessary. I don't understand why they couldn't have left a great green zone between the park and the factory. Oh well, not something we are in charge of, unfortunately. But that was not a good development. I don't like it when trees are cut down seemingly unnecessarily. But there is one area that has been extended, and I do like that, and that is the forest trail. So now we have two, which is awesome. So, let me flip that open. There we go. So, this fork right here, and oh, you can see the 5K sign. So this park is very popular among local charity organizations, healthcare organizations, for various runs and various fundraising events and things like that whenever it's safe. So this is the woodland path, and again, it is so pretty. Lots and lots of trees, even right now in the winter. This is what amazes me. One of the most amazing things about about nature, and I've been around a long time, and this never ceases to amaze me, is that it's always beautiful. Even right now, with the trees bare and no leaves and no flowers and no butterflies. Lots of butterflies here in the summer, but still, this is lovely, and I love the sky. So this is what we call the Carolina blue in these parts. Look at that sky. Isn't that gorgeous? And even though it is winter, you can still see the, I'm sorry, not see, well, see too, but hear forest sounds. You can still hear birds. You can still hear squirrels rustling about, because that's what they do. They're still, even though it's, winter, they should have their stores, but they still hang out in the woods a lot. They still look for things, they still find things to eat. And when they don't find them, they come to my feeders and raid those. No problem, we always have more where that came from. By the way, fans of Gandalf, Gandalf has been back just this morning, so I'm going to have more cute pictures and videos of Gandalf to share with you all. Those of you who don't know, Gandalf is a white squirrel who comes to eat at my bird feeders on a regular basis. Next to my deck, I have what I call a giving tree. It's technically not a tree, it's holly. Holly is considered a shrub, I believe. So, but I call it a giving tree because that's where I house all of the bird feeders and bird houses. So, I have visitors there year-round, including squirrels. One useful things I learned, there is no such thing as a squirrel-proof bird feeder. Any bird feeder that advertises as such, no. They'll figure it out. do not underestimate squirrels. They'll figure it out. But in addition to regular gray squirrels who come to my feeders, there's also a white squirrel whom I call Gandalf. Because Gandalf, the White Wizard, at the end of Lord of the Rings. So, Gandalf, how do I know it's the same squirrel? So, Gandalf has a patch, his wizard hat. He has a patch of gray fur on top of his head and his like wizard hair. It goes to the back of his, like middle of his back, I think. So that's how I know it's always Gandalf. So, yeah. And folks told me, many people who saw videos I posted of Gandalf, said, "Oh my God, I've never seen a white squirrel." Well, now you have. There are two ways a squirrel can be white, or an animal can be white. There's the albinos. You can recognize them in most cases by pink toes, noses, and red eyes, or red eyes. The case is not quite the same with Gandalf. Gandalf is not albino. He is leucistic. Let me show you this frozen little pond. So this, in the summer, is a duck hatchery. If this was about, not even necessarily summer, spring, probably, if this were April, early May, you guys couldn't hear me. Because this would be all filled with bird sounds. All of them battling for territory. Because that's how they roll. Most of the bird sound, this is so funny. I heard a comedian say that, and it's true. We think, oh, bird sound, so romantic. They're just screeching at each other over territory. Or they want to mate. So it's either a living arrangement issue or a mating arrangement issue. But still, but usually, like starting in spring, this whole area is noisy, definitely noisy with birdsong. This here is interesting. This is something they built in the last few years. This is a natural water filtration system. Let me see if I can find the plaque that talks about this. Yeah, here we go. The raindrop falls in Fletcher. So this chart here shows you how this actually works. How the stormwater runs down, goes through the series of these little pools and the plant roots, and then goes into Cane Creek. I think it's such a great idea. First of all, it's a good environment for the animals. It doesn't destroy anything. It adds to the environment. And it allows us to filter water, clean water naturally. So I think it's a wonderful idea. Let me see if I can... It's kind of hard to judge of it, but you can see there's the series of pool. You can just barely see the one in the back, and then another one, and then this one that's up close. So that is a natural water filtration system. In the spring and summer, this is, again, there's beautiful flowers here. There's irises and briars, and so pretty. It's very pretty. I love this park. I love this park every time of year. I've been here many times in every weather, and I love it in every season. My favorite season is autumn, but they're all awesome. Anyway, I was talking about Gandalf. So Gandalf is not an albino. Gandalf is leucistic. Leucistic white furred animals have normal color claws, so they're not pink, and they have black noses and black eyes. So that's a different mutation, and that mutation occurs in not just in squirrels, but in other animals as well. You can see leucistic animals beyond the polar region, not just polar bears, both polar regions, not just polar bears, but ferrets, rabbits, all that jazz. So yeah, so Gandalf is not an albino, he's leucistic. So this is the end of the woodland trail, and there's this strange, slightly Stephen Kingian bridge with some graffiti on it, and some trees. So in the warmer seasons, this is very heavy with kudzu. Like this entire, hang on a sec, flip camera again. So this entire area here, these vines that you see, this is kudzu leftovers. So this is heavy with kudzu. Something I learned recently, last year, kudzu have very pretty flowers. That doesn't change the fact that kudzu is harmful and dangerous to our woods. One of the prime examples of how dangerous it is to introduce something, no matter how well-intentioned, to introduce something into an environment where it has no natural predator. Those of you who don't know, kudzu was a gift from Japan, and the intention was to plant it in the mountains and prevent landslides, which it did very well. What we forgot when we accepted that gift was that Japan actually has real winter, okay? And southern states of the United States do not. Well, let's go into this little side off here. It's not quite an approach. You can't really get into the creek, but it's kind of cool looking. And it has this dead tree I really, really love. I can only imagine how big this bugger was when he was alive. See this? So, as the result, in the absence of a natural climatic control, kudzu got out of control and basically started choking out everything else. And entire forests were lost to kudzu. So, so far the only natural predator found to kudzu is goats. If you want to free your forest from kudzu, bring a bunch of goats, let them loose there. They'll take care of it. But in seriousness, it is a very, very serious problem. So this is one of the smaller approaches to the creek. But it is lovely. I like coming here. Sometimes when I go for a longer walk during the day or just want to hang out, I bring a sandwich with me and just sit around, listen to the water. Again, lovely water sound all along here, all along this trail. Always wonderful, therapeutic to sit around and just listen. And it looks like our briars here have bought into the warm spell we're having, because you can see the leaves on some of the briars starting to sprout, and they really shouldn't. Remember everything I told you about the mountain climate. We have strange swings in temperature, we have strange bits of weather. See, there's a briar leaf. It's too early, little guy. It's too early, it's not spring. But we also have things like sudden freezes at the most unexpected time of year. Some years ago we had snow in the beginning of April. Not unusual. Not unusual. And so at the Biltmore estate they had to pull up a lot of the plants or delay planting their spring garden for the spring Festival of Flowers, which is tremendously popular. It's a beautiful sight. If you can ever go to the Biltmore estate during Festival of Flowers, go. It's stunning. But they had to postpone it, and so there were these sad little signs all over the park saying, "We're sorry, there are no plants. Thanks, Mother Nature." So this is another approach. Unfortunately, it is somewhat ruined by the fact that there's a propane storage park across the creek. But other than that, it is very nice. And this is one of the larger ones. This is actually a little beach. And I do come here a lot. I film here a lot. I practice my water balance here. Again, right now is probably a little bit less pleasant to practice getting in the water here because both the air and water temperature are right around freezing. But in the summer, when it's hot, you know, you can still wade in, but this water barely gets warmer. But it's nice. You can wade in, and those little rocks at the bottom of the creek, those give you a nice little soul massage. I strongly recommend it. You know, critters, beavers, woodchucks, chipmunks, squirrels, and birds, of course, woodpeckers. So there's always somebody working around in these woods, reading them of parasites and all that. Should appreciate them for it. But yeah, I like this. I like this little beach. I really do. It's so pretty. Another good place to bring a picnic, you know, and just hang out. Bring your dog, bring a friend. People should do more of that. Again, this was one of my primary concerns when I started posting nature walks. That was at the start of the first COVID shutdown. And just the stories people were telling, people who were not naturally introverted like I am, who were suddenly stuck at home with not so much as a houseplant or a house pet or either. So at the time, I was in lockdown like everybody else. My employer did a very smart thing and sent all of the non-medical personnel, not all, but as much of the non-medical personnel as possible to work from home. So, but I was still living in my sticks with no people around, so I can still go out up and down the street. And that's what started nature walks. I started filming things in my woods, off my deck, sometimes off my driveway, when I didn't have time to walk. The pond next door, the creek next door, and then more and more and more, putting it to music, that type of thing. And that's how it all came about. And then I started looking for more places to walk. So this park was very important in the nature walk development, nature walk video development. But other ones too, the Rhododendron Lake Park, North Carolina Arboretum, the Biltmore Estate grounds, trying to think, Jackson Park, lots of them in this area, and I'm so grateful to have them here. So this here, again, in the summer would be as noisy as I told you the little water filtering ponds would be. Because this is a hatchery, this whole area. This is all bird area. This is their home. This is where they live, where they hunt, where they mate. They have their nests, they have their babies, all sorts of them. My father-in-law knows birds really, really well. I don't. I recognize some of them on sight. I can't recognize them by sound. I know, like I said, we have woodpeckers. They work very hard, especially in the winter. We have cardinals. Love cardinals. They're so beautiful. So gorgeous. They're shitty models, though. Anytime I try to photograph or film a cardinal, most of the, like 90% of the time, they just like fly away. And the little bastard will just like sit there waiting for me to light up my camera and then just like gone. And yellow finches, sparrows, pigeons, chickadees. But again, I suck identifying birds. So you might be better off, if you wanted to know, to go and see, just Google North Carolina birds, or actually Western North Carolina birds, because I'm pretty sure we probably have the different species here because of the climatic differences between the mountains and the lowlands. We probably have very different birds compared to the rest of the state. So yeah, everything here, everything you see behind me, this is basically like this big tree area, and it's all about the birds. And some of these trees here have little signs on them that say, hey, you know, be nice. It's a hatchery. Again, basically, don't be a dick. Oh, here we go. Speaking of which, speak of the devil, see that little green sign right there? Yep, that's a hatchery sign. So, telling you what you can and cannot do. So this is another creek approach. Let me see if I can get to it. And again, it's not a full approach. It's not. Well, let me see if this changed. Yeah, it's still a bit of a drop off, so you can sit next to it, but you'll have a hard time getting out of it if you go in. So this is, if you want to just sit and listen to it, that's fine. Well, I love the sunlight reflections on the tree. One of my favorite things to see when I'm near water is the sunlight reflections. But yeah, you can't go in, and you see a little bit of ice near on the water right there. And that is consistent with the laws of fluid dynamics, because the river is a fluid, the creek is the fluid, and the shores are the conduit. And whether the shores or the fluid are colder, the change in temperature of the fluid will always begin from the shore. And arrange itself in the shape of a parabola, in the shape of an arch. So that's how the fluid speed changes. So temperature and the state of the fluid. Which is why when you see a body of water beginning to freeze, you always see it starting to freeze by the shores, where the water is more shallow and slower. So this is the area that my dog Phoebe doesn't like, because we're right under a road here. Right under a road. It's kind of a very interesting sight, but it's noisy. and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like walking under it. Anytime we walk her here, we have to actually sort of carry her under, and that's kind of getting difficult because it's an 85-pound pit bull. So, there you go. There used to be an approach right here, but and there sort of is, yeah, not anymore. So there used to be a bit of a flat spot right down at the bottom of this approach, but not anymore. It looks like they're using it more as a drainage channel. And again, a little bit of ice right there by the shore. You can see that. And again, make no mistake, that water looks lovely and beautiful and sparkly. It's cold as heck. It really is. I've been in it, including this time of year. I know what I'm talking about. Whole bunch of doggies, including some I haven't seen before. Long-haired, what looked long-haired greyhounds. I haven't seen those before. And again, there's more of the. Again, you can kind of see here. Let me flip the camera. See, this is new growth. See this reddish section right here? This is brand new leaves, and they're gonna die. Chances are, because first of all, we still have sub-freezing temperatures overnight, and spring is a long ways away. We have these warm spells. This is the south after all, but the mountains are very, very deceptive. Yeah. Weather-wise. And I can already feel, let me see, it is, what time is it? It's 3:20 Eastern Time. And right now, it's probably as warm as we're going to get. But especially near bodies of water right now in this whole area, you start feeling that chill little breeze just creeping in and creeping in and creeping in. Starting to fall, the temperature is starting to fall. Things are starting to cool off faster than usual. We are back in our little magic alley. So again,
that's why I think I like
whoever planted this was brilliant. Such a beautiful alley. And again, if you go back and look at my older nature walks, especially the ones from the fall, this is just gorgeous in the fall. This is so, so amazing. Actually, let's take a break. I need a sip of water. Let's usually hang out. Let's hang out by the creek. This is that area where I told you they had to restore the entire shore because it fell in from the rains. Thunderstorm in the mountains is a sight to see. See if I can prop you guys so that you could see the creek. Let's see. There you go. Oh, no. Shouldn't have flipped it. Here you go. Here we go. You can see the creek, you can see the trees. There you go. So I get some water. Now I can think of one group of population that was not very happy when they cleared out all of the driftwood here. So, before this was so lovely and clear and beautiful, when this was like a driftwood clog, the ducks, the ever enterprising mallard ducks, organized themselves a little settlement here. So I can only imagine what a ruckus they raised when all of the driftwood was cleared to fight the flooding and allow the workers to come back and get back to restoring the shores, to filling in with the rocks. So there is a pond in the middle of the kind of a more civilized, populated part of the park, where there are ducks, and I'll see if I can take you there. If the path is open, it should be open. But yeah, also when we do have those tremendous rains, the soccer fields around the pond get flooded as well. And again, who is ecstatic? The seagulls and the ducks. They're like, woo! New real estate. Good times. Let's all go. And they do. They swim, they're happy, and of course it all dries up eventually, but gives them some extra place to have fun. So again, this is all, you can see more here. Like I said, this part of the park, the less cultured part of the park, is these vines. This is all kudzu, unfortunately. So several times during the summer, the park crew comes through, clears it up, but it grows like crazy. It grows so fast. In the summer, it's like, okay, it's warm, let's go. And just overnight, it's all over the place. I do hope we find a way without chemicals, without anything dangerous, to find kudzu before it chokes out entire species of trees in the area, but I'm not holding my breath. Unfortunately, our community parks, our national parks, are tragically underfunded. And yes, that is a totally a plug, because I don't know about anyone else here, but I believe they're essential. They are the green lungs of our country, and those around the world are the green lungs of the planet. We need them. We need the parks, we need the woods, we need portions of our wilderness left intact. And introducing destructive species such as kudzu doesn't help. I keep wondering, I mean, we do have our own kind of viney plants, I'm sure we do, in North Carolina. But, you know, I'm not sure why that decision was made. I'm really not sure. I understand that they're fast-growing, kudzu is fast-growing, and yes, like I said, it did its job very well as far as securing slopes and making them less prone to mudslides. But the overall ecological effect has been negative. That's not a good thing. We do have at least one more approach to the creek, and we'll see if anyone is there, because it is the most popular one. It's big. It's the biggest, and kind of it's comfy. It is like a little beach again. Where we are here, so those familiar with how distances work in the United States, you'll know what I'm talking about. So European friends sometimes feel staggered when we tell them how long it takes to get places in the States. So North Carolina is this kind of a elongated um, state. So where we are here, we're about 5 hours away from the ocean if you drive in a straight line. So as the result, people are quite some distance from the beach. If you want to plan a trip to the beach, you really have to plan. You can't just like go. You know, it's someplace you'll have to stay overnight at least. I mean, you don't want to drive 5 hours in one direction and then immediately turn around and drive 5 hours in the other direction, having barely spent any time there. So, therefore, whenever people have access to water, they like having these nice little patches of sand, little accesses to creeks and ponds and rivers and things like that. So, not so much right now. Right now, it's only the crazy people like me who like getting into ice cold water that appreciate the easy water approach. But you know, it is what it is. So let me see if we can pop over there. And they have actually extended it, so there's like more than one way to get to it now, which is nice. Kind of gives more people space. A lot of people love going there with their little kitties. I know when I was little, I loved splashing in the water. I'm still a water baby. Was a water baby now, water baby still. So again, how are these leaves holding on? So this is oak. We have several different kinds of oak growing in this part of the state. And amazingly, some of them still have leaves. They're dried and dead leaves, but they're still leaves. So let's see if we can get in here. So this is like the main, most popular way to get to King Creek, King Creek. And it has a nice shallow area. Oh, there's the duckies. You might even see them. They don't fly away. So I heard them. You guys haven't seen them yet. So, like, this is a fairly large little beach here. Big little beach. And there's the duckies. So, there's a male showing off. And a female. Yeah, we have two couples. We have two couples. We have two males, two females. It is not. This is this is Western North Carolina, Gabby. So mountains, Asheville area. Let me see if they will let me get closer. Can I get closer, you guys? Oh, you guys are being so good. You are being so wonderful. Oh, would you guys look at this? I won't hurt you. I'm okay. I'm okay. You're okay. Oh, they're so good. Yeah, I'm gonna walk around them and see, like, this is the rest of the beach. So like I said, as you can see, it's a fairly large area. It's a lovely stretch of the creek, lots of trees, and just around the bend is the bridge. So let me walk around these lovely duckies. Oh, you guys. Oh, you're so good. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me hang out. Oh, everybody, this is the absolute best part about being in nature, being next to nature. When people who live here, this is like the best thing ever. You guys made my day. I now don't care that tomorrow is Monday and I have to go back and read patient records. Look at them. You guys are so pretty. Oh, I wish more of my nature lovers were here and could see this. Oh, so one of the females, it's so cute. She's just sitting there with her beak tucked into her feathers. Oh, you gorgeous girl. Gorgeous girls and gorgeous boys. So these are mallards. Look at those beautiful dark, kind of emerald dark feathers on the boys' heads. This is the best thing ever. This is awesome. And yeah, I do get. This is awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me hang with you. You're beautiful. You're so pretty. Let's keep going. Let's leave the duckies alone. There's a fisherman over there. Fly fishing is very popular here on this creek. And again, this is so lovely. So, and this, so you can climb up the slope right here and come up. But, yeah. And you can swim here. Like, you can, another look at my beautiful duckies. Hopefully I'll see them in the spring with their little babies. Their little baby ducklings. But yeah, you can totally swim here. You can picnic here. So technically, excuse me, oof, drippy nose. Alcohol is not allowed, and this is a smoke-free area. So, but yeah, as long as you are nice to this area, you can come and stay, and hang out, and fish, and enjoy. As long as you're nice. Oh my God, what a sight, y'all! What a sight! Look at this. Let me make it out here. Ah. Let me see if I can take you guys to the little pond that is kind of in the middle over there. Mud. Muddy mud. Muddy, muddy, muddy mud. And there should be a fairly clear path to the pond. There's actually a little memorial there as well to someone. Another very beautiful, kind of introspective, quiet place. Oof. Those fishermen are brave men. I walk into water when I, do my cold water thing, but I'm moving. They're not moving. And yeah, they have, their waterproofs on, but still, whew, yikes. It is cold. This water is so cold. So we're back to the more populated area here. I just think, so the area by the pond is a big open space. And people come here to launch kites and play. There's actually a frisbee golf course here. As if golf wasn't frustrating enough. But frisbee golf is a thing. There's another frisbee golf course near Lake Julian. Another lovely lake park. So, but yeah. I hung out with a friend of mine, my friend and belly dancing teacher, Melanie. During the lockdown, when it got warmer, we did a few shimmy drill videos here because, again, big open area, nobody's in anybody's way, so you can just pretty much do whatever. But me flip, here it is. It's huge. So in the spring, when everything melts and it rains, this whole thing, this whole big green area you see, becomes a lake. This is all very shallow, So in the spring, this is under about 4 inches of water. This is that part of the year when they tell people, please, please, please do not go driving down the blocked roads, because the roads are underwater too. And every year we're having to save somebody who went driving down the road like that, despite the road being blocked, because they think being in a big truck with a 4-wheel drive makes you invincible from flooding. It doesn't work like that. But let's pop over and see if we can find any duckies over here. I don't know if we're gonna. Right now they're hanging out by the creek, which means that's their thing. They move. Right now they're not taking care of the nests. They're not taking care of the little ones. So right now they're enjoying the life of the empty nest parents. But let's go see. Here we go. And so see that bench, that's a memorial. And I forget the exact story of the young man, unfortunately, to whom this memorial was installed. There we go. And basically, yeah, this is like a little swampland almost. Adam's place, I'm sorry. I'll need to go back and look up the story of Adam David Hill. I used to know more about him, but from here there's this little path that takes you closer to the water. And yeah, right now this is empty. The ducks are hanging out elsewhere, and it is frozen. Thin ice. Thin ice. But frozen nonetheless. I would imagine if you were an aquatic bird, you wouldn't enjoy hanging out here. Now, in the spring, they definitely start crowding in here and hang out and build their nests and all that. You know, it's a nice space for them. It's safe. It's surrounded by trees. You know, there's not as much noise, even though it's located right next to a major road. But they like it here. Always good to have wildlife around. And I think I'm going to wrap up. I'm almost back to my car. So I think I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody who came. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the roses. I always appreciate you. And I'll see you back some other time. Thanks for coming.